You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Hun Manet has met with factory workers 10 times since taking office 3 months ago. So far, he says he has met with nearly 200,000 workers in total. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
The Prime Minister met with over 18,000 factory workers in Phnom Penh's Kambal district today. He said he will continue to hold 2 more rounds of meetings during his first term and proudly noted that when he meets with the workers, he always receives a kiss on the cheek and love from the workers. Meeting with factory workers is a tradition established by his father, former Prime Minister Hun Sen, who frequently met with workers to give long speeches in disseminating public policy and addressing current events. Today, the Prime Minister took time to promote the government's new program of providing vocational training to 1.5 million improvised young people to provide them with skills that will find them decent jobs. He encouraged Cambodia's youth to study hard and to apply their skills beyond just learning theory. The Prime Minister then instructed the Ministry of Labour and Vocational Training to closely monitor the program and ensure that it provides applicable training. He also stressed that it is necessary to invest in equipment and cooperate with private companies to create a successful program for the youth. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. While meeting with Prime Minister Hun Manet, President of the Universal Peace Federation, Charles Yang, praised former Prime Minister Hun Sen for ending the war and bringing peace to Cambodia. The UPF president went on to say that other countries facing conflict and division can learn from the former Prime Minister. Having already met with the National Assembly president to build cooperation, UPF President Charles Yang went on to meet with Prime Minister Hun Manet at the Peace Palace yesterday, followed by a visit to Phnom Penh's Victory Monument. During his visit, he expressed admiration for the Prime Minister's father, former Prime Minister Hun Sen, and trusted that the Prime Minister would continue his legacy. The UPF is a South Korean NGO headquartered in the U.S. that promotes world peace through Christian-based morality under its founder's motto, "One Family Under God." The group has had many politicians speak at their events, often conservative, including former U.S. President Donald Trump and former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe before he was assassinated. The UPF was among the official observers of Cambodia's national election in July, which was contested by the U.S., the European Union, and other countries as being, quote, neither free nor fair, citing actions taken against the ruling party's political dissidents in the lead-up to the election. The UPF, however, was an official observer on Election Day, and Charles Yang congratulated Cambodia on a free, fair, and just election. The Prime Minister invited Mr. Yang and his delegation to return for another visit to Cambodia to further strengthen and expand the cooperation between Cambodia and the UPF. He thanked them for sending 115 delegates from 30 countries to observe the 7th National Assembly election on July 23, 2023, and for the congratulatory letter that followed. The Prime Minister also praised the UPF's role in finding peaceful solutions in disputes between states and emphasized his government's contribution to the UPF's Global Peace Charter. He said that Cambodia and the UPF have common goals in building peace, unity, and development within society. He also thanked the UPF for donating medical equipment to the Techo Young Volunteer Doctors Association in the fight against COVID-19, and he expressed hope that the UPF will continue to provide assistance and activities that promote the well-being of the Cambodian people. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Ministry of Social Affairs completed the Towards Inclusive Employment for Persons with Disabilities project this week to highlight the needs of disabled workers in achieving an equitable job market. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
Representing the Minister of Social Affairs, Chia Somati, Secretary of State M. Chand Makara spoke at the event's closing ceremony today to stress the importance of joint action to ensure employment for Cambodia's disabled community. He said that while employment data for persons with disabilities is difficult to gauge, it is estimated that Cambodia's disabled people have a higher rate of employment than those without disabilities. The Secretary of State, who is also the Secretary General of the Disability Action Council, said that the Cambodian government has been prioritising employment for the disabled by giving them work in ministries and in public institutions. He said that there are many private institutions that have come to recognize disability as a source of diversity, talent, and innovation. He said that decent jobs for persons with disabilities should empower them to lead independent lives and to contribute the well-being of families, communities, and social as a whole towards building a more cohesive economy. He noted that the project's mission is in line with the Government 2023 agenda and its Sustainable Development Goals. He stresses that as the economy grows, employment issues for persons with disabilities will remain a challenge that needs to be solved through a group effort, and that problems should be addressed before they occur to ensure that no one is left behind. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The government announced the official implementation of the 5th and 6th Priority Policy Program under Prime Minister Hun Manet's new administration today. The Prime Minister made a speech wherein he ensured that government involvement in the free market would not affect the spirit of competition. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
Cambodia implemented reform policies in 1989 to enter an open market economy with private property rights and state-owned enterprises being privatised. Today, the Prime Minister stressed that within the open market, the government acts as a consultant and provider of various supports such as infrastructure, finance and technology.
ជាស្ដែងរាជរដ្ឋាភិបាលបានព្យាយាមយ៉ាងសកម្មក្នុងការចរចាជាមួយបណ្ដាប្រទេសជាមិត្តដើម្បីនាំចេញផលិតផលកសិកម្មរបស់កម្ពុជាដោយមានកិច្ចព្រមព្រៀងពាណិជ្ជកម្មសេរីទាំងក្នុងក្របខ័ណ្ឌទ្វេភាគីबहुភាគី
The Prime Minister said that the Ministry of Agriculture and the Minister of Commerce have played an important role in promoting Cambodian products and agricultural products to foreign markets and finding new ways to attract foreign agriculture investors. He stressed that the government's intervention measures that facilitate credit do not affect the spirit of competition in the free market. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. King Norodom Sihamoni returned safely from his trip to France last night, having strengthened diplomatic ties between Cambodia and its former colonizer in the fields of cultural preservation and healthcare investment. Multiple dignitaries, including the current and former prime ministers, greeted the king upon his arrival to the Phnom Penh International Airport. The monarch spent a week in France, meeting French President Emmanuel Macron, visiting his father's archive, and attending the